This thing is a monster for a tabletop TV. It doesn't even fit on the bench. I'm going to have to get a table out probably to work on it. Known source for this television. I know exactly where it came from. I know when it was purchased. I know who purchased it new. And I know that it is absolutely low hour. When I say low hour, I mean the thing's probably got, over all of its lifetime, maybe a year's worth of typical view time on it. So I know that this television is absolutely worth repairing. I don't need to check the CRT in it. I know that it's good. It simply has quit working from sitting. I'm going to take a guess based on where this television was that the caps are cooked in it. It sits in a home that does not get used all the time, and it is not air conditioned when it is not in use, and because of that, it's it's in a desert area, so the thing bakes. The thing bakes in 100 degrees every summer, every day. So unless somebody's there, which is not all the time. So anyways, that's enough of that rambling. We need to repair it. The symptom is you go to turn it on, you can hear a relay vibrating in it. So there's something, it's probably just a bad cap, but you know, Sony Trinitrons are impossible to work on. They're extremely complicated televisions. Probably the most, I'm going to say the most complicated. I did, one of the first televisions I ever worked on was that little 13-inch Trinitron from 73. And it was a real pain in the ass too. So anyways, this is a 1989 model Trinitron. You know, it's got the normal cable TV. This was a big deal back then. You could receive cable on a television without a box. So we got sharpness, brightness, color, hue, adjustments. I'm going to guess that if there's any horizontal or vertical adjustments, they're probably in the back. If there are any, this is in that era, probably. I'd say 1989. It probably has no adjustments. It's probably got a bonded yoke that's not adjustable. The convergence is probably locked. I'm just guessing here, but we need to get the back off of it and start taking a look. And even newer inside than I was expecting, but I guess I should have said to myself, 1989, it would be like this. This is crappy 90s plastic television stuff going on here. So there's the flyback. You know, it's obviously everything's integrated circuits, and I spotted the problem already. I can already tell you where the problem is. Let's see if you guys can guess. Yep, that guy over there was right. It's that cap right there. This thing is completely bulged out. Completely. I guarantee that's the main filter for it, and that sucker is definitely bad. Probably a bunch of the other caps in here are bad as well. I'm going to guess this thing's plugged in all the time, and that heat, it just baked it out. It just totally baked it out. So let's see, what is it? Is it 200 volt? 200 volt, 560 microfarad. Is that what that says? Probably, yeah, it looks like a 200 volt, 560 microfarad. So I don't have one of those. I've probably got a cap that will work, or I could parallel a couple of caps that'll work. But guaranteed that cap is bad. So now watch it make me eat my words. So, you know, this is of the era where you just don't even want to fix something like this, but it belongs in the home that it came from. It's a period piece. It fits the decor. So we're going to fix it so it can go back to where it's always lived. So I'm looking at this, and you got to remember, this is Sony. So the quality is usually pretty good. I'm staring at how to get this chassis out of here. Chassis. It's board. Hilarious. It's definitely crappy plastic television era. But it does look like they did design this, unlike I'm sure other companies. It looks to me like this chassis can come out of here. This disconnects somehow, and I'm sure I could pull the SAMs. The SAMs probably has instructions on how to remove the chassis. But This looks like this slides out here. I may have to tip this up on its side and see. So I'm going to say definitely. That's what these hooks are right here. So they did make it serviceable. Somehow this chassis slides back, and I'm guessing there's some screw or something that holds the whole thing in. Maybe it's that one over there, or I don't know. I'm going to have to figure this out. So yeah, thank you, Sony. Back off this screw. It even looks like it's captive. It is. Back off this screw right here. It's captive. And that's it. The chassis is loose. So I'm going to have to disconnect the high voltage and the yoke, convergence, assembly, whatever the hell this is. Yeah, convergence and yoke, or CRT connector, speaker. And they've got these reusable little things here. So, it's not zip tied or anything like that. I mean, there's still some quality here. It's a crappy late 80s television, but there's still some quality. Very easy to get out. I took some pictures just to make sure, but it's marked. The board's that speaker right there, AC in, which I didn't have to remove the line cord, but DGC, that's the degaussing coil. I mean, it makes sense, right? This goes up to the CRT. That's a CRT connector right there. These other two were really obvious, and they're keyed. You can't screw them up. So, at any rate, you think that sucker's bad? Let's just take a look at that dome top capacitor for a second, because capacitors are supposed to be domed on top. Yeah, that sucker's bad. And here's the thing. I bet all these other caps probably are not energized all the time. I bet that's the DC power supply, which is hot all the time. It was left plugged in, and that sucker cooked just from always having a DC voltage on it. So I'm not even going to bother recapping the whole thing. These are all quality looking caps. I think they look like they're probably Nichicons. This one's a Nippon Chemicon, which is a well-known brand. So I'm not going to bother with all that. We're going to put one cap in it, and this thing will work. I put my money on it. So I'm probably just going to order it. I'm not even going to bother substituting something in that I have that might work. We'll just get the appropriate 200 volt, 560 microfarad capacitor. And of course, this thing would make me eat my words. So I checked the large filter cap. It's not bad. It's gone way up in value, but it isn't bad. And at the suggestion of Shango, who is infinitely smarter than I am, he said it's going to be the standby filter based on what it's doing. And here's the standby filter. And I literally just pulled it off the board. I just pulled it and it just came right off the board. It's just totally eaten. The electrolyte leaked out and it ate its way off of the board. So I just so happened to have in my stash, I got a brand new Nichicon 250 at 22. That's what this is. So we'll slip a 250 at 22 in there. And I'm going to guess it's probably going to be happy. All right, so what's the under-over? I kind of like doing this too because it shows how cocky you can get, and then you realize that you're wrong, which I don't mind admitting it. I'm wrong all the time. I'm wrong about a lot of things. I'll give this guy a shot. We can turn this off. Don't need that anymore. And people call me out on it too, which is fine. Call me out on being wrong. It doesn't bother me. Some people are kind of jerks about it. A few videos I probably won't make anymore just because people have to be an ass. Okay, so we're hot going into the TV. Let's see if it... I realized it didn't show what it was doing before, but you press the power button, you just hear the relay. So, yeah, look at that. One bad cap, that's all it was. Let's see if we get light on the screen. This thing's probably been off for a very long time. Yep, there we go. So the camera's not quite syncing because of the brightness in here, but maybe we get a converter box on this thing. Okay, so let's see. I know that this had a normal cable TV switch. So I have to switch that over to normal because it was on cable. It was on a cable system. I just plugged this into the... By the way, this uses almost no power, and I've got a 60-watt light bulb in here. I just plugged it into my dim bulb just because it's convenient. You can do that because this thing uses no power. It won't affect it at all. So anyways, all right, now we need to turn on the box and the TV, and then probably get this thing to channel 3. That switch down there probably just locks it out from going past a certain number of channels. I don't know, it's still on 55, but let's, oh wait, wrong remote. I don't have the remote for this, or I do have it, it's in the car, and well, I'm going to have to get this all the way down, or I'll have to go get the remote. Hang on. Do we think the pincushion cap is bad? That's usually what that means. That means the pincushion cap might be bad. All right. Well, we're going to find out here in a minute. It looks to me like the pincushion cap is probably bad. Oh, yeah. That's weird. Because the display on the DTV box, boy, this thing's got a good picture. That turns the brightness up or whatever they call it, picture. Increases the picture brightness, I think. I don't know. It doesn't look, it's hard to tell. It look like the pincushion was way off. But it looks good now. I don't know. I think it's curving up. I think that this thing may have a bad pincushion cap. I need to get the generator out in order to check that. Okay, so this is my little portable Linco battery-powered generator. I actually really like this thing. It's just quick and easy. And I can just unplug from there. Plug that in there. And we're off a channel, I think. Okay. No. Maybe a little bit something going on here. There may be a bad cap in the pincushion. There may be. That shouldn't be curved way out here like this. So now I do need the schematic, I think. I kind of got away without it to this point, but I think I need the schematic. It looks good otherwise. The convergence looks great. I mean, you know, it's just a little bit right here. That's a little bit off, but I mean, it looks really good otherwise. So let's see. So that'll give you vertical lines. Yeah, there's definitely something going on here. We need to dig the schematic out. I think it's got a really nice picture. So I adjusted the pincushion. I checked the caps in the pincushion circuit, and they're fine. They're actually, one of them tested better than a new one that I had. So I don't know why this isn't staying synced. I set it to 24 frames. Anyways, I think this is a wrap. This is just an easy one. You know, that standby cap, I think, is energized all the time. That's why it went bad. The other ones aren't. It probably needs a recap, but, you know, I'm not going to do that. I'll just repair it as it needs it. So, anyways, you know, quick one. Easy repair. We'll wrap this up.